Hey everyone, this is Joy of Joy Morris Beauty, and in this video I'm going to be spending some time talking about and comparing two of my favorite concealers. We have Tarte Shape Tape and NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and we're going to be trying to answer the question, which one is better? So subscribe and stay tuned. Okay, a little bit of background. I have been using NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer since the beginning of time. I actually worked for NARS at a trade show some years ago, and I had not used the product before then. And then I learned so much about NARS in that experience and just really fell in love with the brand. This became one of my staple concealers that I wore for years and years and years. I purchased it in Amande or Amande. I've never known exactly how to pronounce that. This is actually almost an exact match to my skin tone. So I've bought countless amounts of tubes of this product. I also purchased it in the shade Caramel, which is a little lighter for me, and in the wintertime I mix the two to get a bit of a lighter color. It helps me out. I've also purchased it in Walnut, which I don't use that often because it's kind of like a yellower version of the Amande, but it looks really nice up under foundation for a highlight. So I have a lot of experience with that one. And then last year I started using Tarte Shape Tape. So I have, let me grab my other one. Oh, here it is. Okay. So in Tarte Shape Tape, I have Deep, which is really close to Amande in terms of shading, and this is also a near exact match to my complexion because I have a neutral complexion. And then I also use the medium tan neutral because same with the NARS, in the wintertime I mix the two and it gives me a lighter color. So I have a lot of experience wearing both products, and I feel that I can confidently compare the two of them, and I'm hoping that this will help you. So the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, it is a very natural looking concealer. You could wear this on your face with nothing else, and if you got a really good match, no one would probably be able to tell that you had concealer on. You know, if you're, you made sure your skin was nice and moisturized and things like that. It is very thin to me. It's very pigmented but very thin, and I think that's what helps it have such natural coverage. It dries down and it literally just kind of almost like becomes part of the pigment of your skin. As you can see, I just applied it. My hand is a little lighter than my face, but it just kind of literally becomes part of your skin. You can't, the texture, it mimicked the texture that I had on my, it's like the perfect natural coverage concealer. I have no complaints about it. The Tarte formula is a little thicker in terms of the feel of it. It feels thicker to me when I put it on my face. Yeah, it has just a little bit of a thicker feel when you mix it in. This is Amande over here, and here's Deep over here. So I guess they're not like literally an exact match, like I said, but they're pretty close. The NARS Applicator is very thin and narrow, which is perfect for you to get all in whatever little crevices you need. Not only can you use it around your eyes, sometimes different people have, discoloration around the crevices of their nose. Sometimes you might need it to clear up your lip line. Like, let's say you put a really bold pigmented lip on and you needed your lip line to be really clean. That's when this really thin applicator like this comes in handy, because you can just kind of do like that detailed spot work. Let's say I needed to clean up my brows. You could just kind of get right in there and just really make it happen with this thin applicator right here. And I've always loved that about the NARS one. One drawback about it is, you know, if you are doing up under your eyes and you're just kind of like dotting for about 20 seconds, depending on how much you want it to put on, you're just kind of like going to town trying to make it happen. So it can take a little bit longer, but it kind of goes with it being the thin formula with the natural coverage, because you can just only put in like as much as you need. Now, the Tarte applicator, however, which took me a while to get used to, is kind of like, you know, bam, it is big. The way it comes out, it almost is like goopy. I always feel like it makes this goopy sound when you take it out. It's like, which makes me feel like I'm wasting product. Like the first time I tried this, I kind of panicked a little bit. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna blow through this product. It scoops so much out, but it works really well up under your eyes. And I have the Tarte on right now, so I've already put this up under your eyes. But in terms of just layering the coverage up under your eyes, it works because it's a lot faster to use this bigger applicator. Conversely, with the NARS, with the small one being good for detail work, this applicator is not as good for detail work because I said it picks up so much product, and then it's a lot bigger, which if you were trying to clean up lines, I mean, you could, but if you have a really steady hand and a very precise hand, I would say it would be a lot more difficult with this. I personally wouldn't do it because it still looks like there's so much product loaded on this this applicator in particular. I'm sure if I wiped it out on a white piece of paper, it would just be so much. So for that type of like detail work, like if I had finished a whole face and I saw a couple things I wanted to clean up, I would reach for the NARS. I wouldn't reach for this, because you wouldn't want to reapply and change the look of whatever you had done. So that's another key difference, is the applicator. My opinion really is, like I said, the NARS gives a very natural coverage where you could literally put this on and not have anything else on your face. If you had, you know, nicely moisturized skin, people probably wouldn't be able to tell you had it on if you had a good match. And for that, some people say the NARS is full coverage. I personally feel like NARS is kind of like a medium coverage to me. And I feel like the Tarte has a heavier coverage, so I would call the Tarte full coverage. This is just my personal opinion, not necessarily what the brands say about the product. But in my personal opinion, NARS is more like a medium and Tarte is more like a full. I have used some of my tried and true concealers down through the years, and then when I finished my look, if I didn't like it, went on top of it with the Tarte, like literally on top of everything, powder, you name it. I mean, probably already like 3 layers of something on my face. And I'm like, no, Tarte will fix it. Tarte, she's got it. And the Tarte, it saved the day, because it was able to go on top of all those layers of product and somehow blend it together and work its magic, and just kind of like be like I said, like a shape tape, almost like a glue, just kind of holding everything together, smoothing everything out. So you know, in my book, this is a full, and NARS is more like a medium, a little more of a natural coverage. Okay, so the way I apply my concealer on a daily basis is I typically do not set with powder. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with setting with powder. It's just my personal preference on a daily basis that I do not set with powder. I like to have my makeup look as natural as possible. So I have worn both concealers successfully without setting with powder. However, in comparing creases, because you know all our skin has creases. Skin has creases. Skin is skin. It has, you know, different things going on with it. I have found that the Tarte Tape Shape creases less than the NARS, and I'm saying less because the NARS barely creases. And the way my under eye area is set up, I don't really have a lot of creases, but I do have one good fold. And I would say, just in comparison, the Tarte creases slightly less than the NARS. That's been my experience. Okay, in terms of the look of the concealer, the NARS has a natural finish to it. Like I said, you know, you wouldn't really be able to tell if it was on the skin if you had a good match. The Tarte has a little more of a dewier, almost like glossier kind of look to it a little bit. So you put it on and you can tell, you know, you have a little enhancement going on up under your eyes, which there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on what type of look you're going for. If you don't want anybody to know your secrets, here you go. If you don't mind people being like, oh, what's that? That's nice. Here you go. That would be the difference between the two. And like I said, if I'm doing an all the time and a no makeup look, I'm going for the NARS. If you want the no makeup, if you're a concealer and lip balm type of gal, NARS. If you like to do it up a little more, or if you're going out or whatever, the Tarte. The Tarte, definitely. So which one am I using more regularly right now? I am actually using the Tarte Shape Tape a lot more regularly than the NARS. And I think for me, it's not necessarily that it's anything wrong with the NARS, but I think that, you know, you can fall in love with the product. And sometimes you just need to switch things up. And the Tarte is different in a way that I like, which has been fun for me to kind of experiment with. Like I said, because I used the NARS for so many years. So it's been good to kind of, you know, just play with the different product. I switch my products out probably a little slower than a lot of other people because I really kind of like to study the way they work with different products, different settings, different lighting. You know, I really kind of like to master that. So I tend to use products for a little while, especially complexion products. I don't switch them up that much. I like to try new things, but I shift in and out slowly, kind of methodically. So I don't, yeah, I heard so much about the Tarte, especially from a lot of makeup artists actually use Tarte in their kits as well as NARS. But there were so many people using the Tarte that it kind of intrigued me to check it out. And when I used it, I was like, wow. Okay, I see. I totally get what everybody's saying. I completely do. This is awesome. So I've been just having fun playing with it. But if I had to pick just one product of the two, oh, that is hard because like I said, they are different to me. I would probably pick the NARS because I think it is the most versatile. Like I said, you can use it from a no makeup look all the way up to a glam look. You might need to, you know, apply a couple layers of it. But I think it is the most versatile in terms of being able to use it for different types of makeup looks. But it, you know, the good thing is that makeup, you have choices, so I don't have to choose between the two. But just hypothetically, if I was giving advice to someone who, you know, you're building up your makeup kit from scratch, or you're starting fresh with your makeup kit and you want some new ideas, I would start with the NARS. I would definitely start with the NARS. I think, like I said, I'll put the prices in the description. I think it ranges somewhere in the 30 something. I think it's somewhere around there, both products, $30 to $40 range. I wouldn't let the price deter you because you'll be able to use it for a very long time. One little hack that I want to mention too with the NARS product, if you do feel like you get to like the tube is empty, there's always a way to get some more product out the tube. And I'll probably do maybe a separate video on this one day, but I just want to put the little tip in there. There is actually a little like lid at the top that if you use like an old tweezer that you didn't care about, you could pry it off and get the rest of the product out there. I wouldn't suggest doing it until you got to the point where you felt like the product was gone, because I did it one time prematurely and every time I opened a product it just was like oozing and goozing out, and I think I wasted a little bit. I don't like wasting product, but that's a suggestion to help some of you out there who may be sitting on the fence about the price. I think if you have a really good complexion product that really works for you, that the price is definitely worth it, because the quality definitely makes the purchase, the buy, be worth it. So don't let that deter you. When you look at it, I have used this for years, and I'm going on my second year with this product. They're both fantastic concealers if you're looking for some new things to pick up. So go ahead and check those out. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned to check out my videos that I have coming up. Take care.